Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakha Kwadash. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return. And double honors to our apostles and elders, a great millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. And welcome to another series of quick and important information being brought to you by the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Argentina drops dollar in trade with China. Now, this is an article that was uploaded from RT.com, as you see up there. And this is yet another state, if you will, state country that is dropping the United States dollar. And there's several countries that are actually dropping the dollar in U.S. trade. Now, and of course, I've done a video on a much similar lesson to this before in the past, where I went into, what would happen if the United States was no longer the leading reserve currency. And it all boils down to the devaluation of the dollar, where the dollars in your pocket would be worth mere pennies. So the dollar would lose its buying power. In other words, you would need more money to buy less. I mean, we're already seeing that as the dollar is constantly being devalued every single day. And the dollar is being devalued by constant spending, especially on these different various weapons to aid in this war against Russia and Ukraine. And we're talking hundreds of billions of dollars. And with all this mass printing, is only taken away from the value of the dollar. So the dollar is losing its buying power by the second. And when the US dollar is no longer the leading reserved currency, it's gonna greatly lose its buying power. Okay, think of it this way. Imagine spending $10 just to buy one loaf of bread, which would otherwise be $1.50, which the loaf of bread itself might be $1.50, but you might still need a $20 bill if you want to buy it. But Buenos Aires will pay for imports in yuan after signing a currency swap deal with Beijing. Okay, so, but at the end of the day, we know that this is all systematically being done on purpose by the so-called elites, because ultimately they want to crash the dollar, because they have plans to swap out the dollar for digital currency. That's why they've set up the central banking digital currency system, because eventually they want to do away with cash and basically make it to where you will have to buy with virtual money. Okay, via pay cards, credit cards, debit cards, and eventually the CHIP. So it's like a slow transition. Okay? It's a slow transition to, digitize the money. So here it says, Argentina will aim to pay for the bulk of its monthly imports from China in yuan rather than US dollars. Economy Minister Sergio Massa announced on Wednesday. Buenos Aires and Beijing signed a currency swap agreement last year aimed at stemming the outflow of foreign currency from Argentina's central bank. So there you have it. And you know what? You're going to hear more news like this. You're going to hear about more countries dropping the dollar. Okay, India already worked towards that. Russia and China already worked towards that. Brazil, I believe, already worked towards that. Okay, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe there was an African country that's also working towards that. Some place in Africa, they're talking about dropping the dollar. So let's get this right here. Ezekiel chapter 3 verse chapter 7 verse 19. Okay, so Ezekiel chapter 7 verse 19. They shall cast their silver in the streets, and their gold shall be removed. Their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of the Lord. They shall not satisfy their souls, neither fill their bowels, because it is the stumbling block of their iniquity. So it says they shall cast their silver in the streets. Your gold and your silver is a metaphor for the money that you use to buy and sell. And just like how they show you in that movie, I Am Legend, there was a scene in the movie when Will Smith was walking through the streets and he seen dollars everywhere, just lying there. Which indicates what? The dollar was so worthless that people was just tossing it because they couldn't do anything with it. You see? So that's prophecy. That's really going to happen. The dollar is going to become so worthless that people's going to toss it because at that point it's going to have the same value as toilet paper or heating fuel. But with that, I'm gonna say shalom. Is on to the next one.